Cool. So, Gav, welcome to the show. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, sir. Thanks for the invite. I'm glad to be here. Glad to
Yeah,
be here.
gosh. I mean, for the guys that are listening, myself and Gav probably met what 2012, 13.
It
It's got
was
to be years
2000.
ago.
We met when Tom and I came over and talked to you about USANA, wasn't it?
Oh
That's when we
God. So
first
what?
met.
Yeah. So
It was
when
when
was that?
Tom and I, it was 2012. That was the year that Tom and I joined USANA,
Yeah.
which is got a bad rap. Well, the industry has got a bad rap within our industry, which is
Yeah.
network marketing. It's misunderstood, isn't it? And
Totally
we
misunderstood.
sat down with you and Harry. I think what it was, Grant was working for you at the
Yes.
time.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I worked
Grant
with
was
Grant
leading.
over from 2008 to 2012 or 2011 at Fitness. I'm not Fitness First. LA Fitness on London Wall.
Yeah.
Grant
Yeah.
moved there. I went to just around the corner from you guys to the
Yeah.
studio, and then we had a coffee just
I
near
remember
your place.
now.
Actually, we sat down and showed you the plan, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
time we'd met you and Harry, and that was
Yeah.
that
Yeah. No.
2012.
Gosh.
Bloody hell, 8 years ago.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how time has flown. But for
Really
those
fun,
of you
yeah.
that are not sure about Gav's background, Gav, do you want to kind of give us the quick overview? Well, not even
A
the quick
quick
overview.
overview, right?
Yeah,
Or in terms of where I come from and
yeah,
how
just
fitness.
fitness. Yeah,
Yeah.
fitness, and
Okay, cool. So did a degree in sports and exercise science back in '93. I'm showing my age now, and I graduated in
wow,
'96, but then
still
fell
got
into something
slack.
completely different. Some of you might know. I know you did. I actually end up stripping for a living for
Oh
15
wow, yeah,
years,
gosh, yeah, yeah,
full
yeah, yeah.
time,
Love
full
this.
time gig until 2008. Literally a full time gig. In the meantime, whilst this dancing and gallivanting all over Europe was taking place, I was
Living the
doing
dream.
living the dream. I did Poliquin level 1 and 2, little Oda Paul check. I kept sort of sharpening the saw, so to speak.
Yeah,
When I knew the bubble would burst, and I got to 35, age 35, 2008. God, I am really
yeah.
showing my age now, aren't I? I thought, shit, I need to move to London and get back into what I always loved, which was fitness.
Where were you living then before?
I was living up in Kings Lynn, up in Norfolk.
Oh right, okay.
That was my kind of hometownish. Then I moved to
Yeah.
Peterborough, and I thought, you know what, Ben Wright. Do you know Ben Wright?
No.
He was working with me as a stripper before, but he's now a Hollywood stuntman.
Oh wow.
Doubles for Daniel Craig. He was in all the Game of Thrones, everything. He's a top stuntman. He moved to London like 6 months before me and said, "Gav, come to London." And I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
2008, back into fitness. Did 3 years there, and then 2011 moved to. It was called Ignite PT, just around the corner
Gotcha.
from you
Yeah. Yeah.
guys. Yeah, it's now Evolve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
guys took over. So yeah, 12 years in the city. Well, 10 years. The last 2 years have been came out of the city and moved entirely online.
Yeah, so that's
That's my
the
journey.
that's
Yeah,
the kicker. And I mentioned just as we started recording, the amount of interaction and engagement that you get on your posts is incredible. But what was the kind of, before we dive into that and the nuggets, what made you think, do you know what, I want to go completely online, not just dip your toe in, but go completely online?
yeah. Okay, well, I'll give you the journey. In 2012 is when things changed for me. So I would say like a normal PT, working for the hours. Sometimes I'd do 30 hours a week. Sometimes it would be a bit leaner. But I was doing and charging the basic in London was what, 50, 60 quid. This is back
Yeah,
in 2008. Yeah,
yeah.
pretty standard. Then I went to California on my own, 2012, to see Bedros. Remember Bedros Keuilian, the big fitness guy
Group,
over there.
yep, group, yep, masterminds.
But Mastermind, his fitness business summit,
Yeah,
2012 on my own. And he was the guy that said about getting people to know, like, and trust you. Start writing daily emails, or at least 3 times a week emails. Start like a blog,
yeah,
um, and start doing testimonials and really marketing fitness. And not many
yeah.
people, even 10 years ago, weren't doing that.
No,
They,
no,
they
no.
just weren't. Um, I then took 4 other lads back out with me in 2013. And that's when I really started marketing fitness. We started the boot camp. His model was the boot
Yeah,
camp model.
yeah,
We started doing boot camps on the weekend. And it was either his model was getting people to own their own boot camps, similar to yours, like a
yeah,
facility, but with running a boot camp model as opposed to a PT model. And and ahhing about that. And
you look at them now, think about
yeah.
boutique studios now, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, well, it's, if you look at the Barry's Bootcamp model.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
The money that's generated, it's kind of like a similar model, like getting loads of people to pay $149 a month. If you've got 100 people paying $149 and they can come to unlimited boot camps, that was the model that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, if I could get a studio and to make it work, having said that, with COVID-19, it was not the great thing, but I love that model. In the meantime, I was looking at online options and I saw people, maybe charging X amount for a 12-week transformation, different things. And then occasionally I saw these people charging thousands for online. I thought, well, how can you charge more for not seeing a client when you're not even charging that one-to-one? And the decision to really jump entirely to online coaching, you know what? Tim Drummond, and if he ever listens to this, he added me to his list. I never signed up.
I don't think you do that now. Shout out to Tim Drummond, by the way.
Tim, but I liked his style of email because clearly there was a guy that had been coached on how to market his services, because his emails were very similar to what I was doing. And I was like, this wasn't a guy saying, hi, I'm a PT, do you want to join my course? I could see the hooks. He was like, this guy knows what he's doing in marketing. He's had some coaching. Yeah. So I read all the emails. I never did anything about them. And then it would have been 2017 where I said, you know what? It's time to see what this guy's about.
So how many times, how long were you getting those emails?
At least 2 years. Wow. 3 times a week,
shows,
3 or 4 times a week. Yeah, and I get clients now that have been on my list 6 years and they say, Gav, I finally decided to do something. But often if someone, you know what, I never get annoyed when someone just drops me into their lists. I'll just delete it if I don't like it, but I'll read it because sometimes I'll learn. I never actually drop anyone on my list. I never spam anyone, but it makes me smile when people do it to me.
Yeah.
Because I know they're just trying to gain some traction. Yeah. And something Tim said, I thought, okay, I'll have a conversation with him. And it was at the decision where, do I go the facility route or carry on as a normal PT? And I'd really put my prices up. A lot of the guys were saying I was starting to take the piss with the prices. I probably was. I'd also cut down to half-an-hour sessions only.
Yeah.
And I was charging more for a half-hour session than everyone else in the gym was charging for 1 hour, which it was amusing. However, I was still getting great results.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying, how can you do that? And I said, well, look, it's not about time. You've got it mixed up. Yeah. Your clients are paying you 80 quid for 1 hour. Now, they're not paying for the hour. They're paying for the result.
Yeah.
I said, so if I don't waste 15 minutes warming them up, and then I don't spend 10, 15 minutes chatting about their wife or their husband, and then we don't spend 10 minutes cooling down, if I can get the same result for 30 minutes and charge them 100 quid, they're not going to moan. And so I went 100 quid for half an hour. All right. And I was doing the equivalent of 25 hours a week at half an hour per 100. So I was making amazing money, but it was a 6 a.m. start. And, you get a gap in mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and sometimes an 8 p.m. finish, the normal PT. So even though I was only doing 25 hours, I was on the 3 or 4 days I was in the city, it was still leaving at 4:30 in the morning, getting home at 9, because I'd moved to Hertford. This is 3 years ago. Thought, well, and I'm 46 now, so I was 43 then. I thought, I wasn't, all the guys were in their 20s. I thought there's got to be another way here. I'm not going to go down
you've got as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down the studio because I'm going to have to go and get $100,000 investment, which is right. Yeah, you need that to get going. Yeah. And then you're going to have to pay that loan back over the next 10 years with a silent partner that might not become silent.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was the online model or not, but I didn't want to be doing, if someone was charging 1,000 quid for 12 weeks of training, for example, of one-to-one, most people were charging 600 for online because it was less,
Yeah.
I thought, well, how do I learn to charge 2,000 or 3,000 for online and get results? And then Tim came along and I spent a good chunk of money with Tim. I think I spent, I won't say because other people will Tim might want me sharing that. He probably doesn't care. I spent a good amount of money with Tim, 6-week course, and it literally, the lights went on. And I never looked back from. By then, I was doing what he calls the hybrid. I'd cut down to 15 hours a week in the gym, and probably had the equivalent of 10 hours of work outside the gym.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple of months where I did more than ever, yet spending less time in the gym. And then I set a goal. It was January the 1st. And it was 2 years ago this June I left. So literally 2 years and 1 month ago, I said on the first week of June, so it would have been 2018, I'm going to leave the gym. And it was 10 years to the day, exactly the same day that I came to London. That was kind of a poignant moment. I said, you know what? It was the 5th of June, 2018. And it was the same, I think it was the day before I started 10 years ago, 2008. And I set the goal because I thought if I said sometime this year I'm going to leave, it's going to be really hard. So I just said, right, the 5th of June, I'm leaving. It just happened to be a Friday, end of the week. And that was that. And I never looked back.
And how many of your clients transitioned to online that, you were face-to-face? Any of them? Or?
2. So I left 20 to 30 clients, let them move on to other clients because a couple that were doing the hybrid model that were doing maybe a couple half hours a week plus some coaching and some one-to-one stuff, they finished out. But by mid-June, there was no income at all coming in.
Yeah, gosh.
It's scary, but it was also exhilarating because I was there at my stand-up desk thinking, right, okay, now I've got to create a new model. And that was just a case of getting the newsletters out, which I moved to. I credit Paul Mort. You know Morty?
No.
You don't know Paul Mort, the boot camp king, he called himself. You should get in touch with him. He's a really good coach. He was the one I was getting his newsletters for a couple of years. And he said to move from 2 or 3 times a week to daily emails. And I thought, that's going to piss people off. But I went to 5 days a week and just started marketing myself and built it from there.
So you still do every day?
I'm down to it's 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. And sometimes I'll miss a day. Yeah, so it's like on most weeks, 4 days a week. And that's kind of been the journey. It's 2 years, and I've never looked back. But within the last 2 years, there's been some ups and downs for sure.
So definitely want to come back to that emails. I think, we've done, I don't know what episode we're on now, maybe 12 or 13 of the podcast. But
who have you had on? What other guests have you had on?
We've had Dan Lawrence perform 365, Dr. John Russin over from the States, who's bringing out his PPSC cert and he does online. He was churning out 15 articles a month to like T Nation and things like that. Who else have we had? Mark Hallam, so Coach Hallam. Harry's been on it, Harry Thomas, so my business partner on the gyms. Emma Barry. Do you know Emma?
No, I don't know Emma.
No. Equinox. We've had quite a few interesting people, and what I find, a lot of them are ex-trainers or still trainers and strength and conditioning coaches or whatever, but this whole, who came up with just paying for the hour back in whenever? Because it ruined the industry, And similar to you, I kind of was driven to trying to work with all these high net worth individuals and stuff. And thinking, I'm going to charge loads per hour. And they were never there. They were never around. And it all kind of boils down to like what we spoke about, I think, before we jumped on, of these people just need kind of real good quality coaching that they can fit into their lifestyle.
But they're really after a result, aren't they? They really want a result. And it was Bedros that suggested moving to a half an hour model. I was also, do you know Dan Meredith?
I don't know.
He's doing extremely well. He came on in about 2011 to LA Fitness as the PT manager. Left a couple of years ago. He has blown up. He is one of the top digital marketers. He's got a Facebook group called Coffee with Dan. Have you not heard of that? Well, he's got 12,000 members in it, Ben.
Wow.
And he came in, and he was a master at, I learned a lot from Dan. He was a master at talking to people on the gym floor. And he said, he mentioned the half an hour session to me as well. And this is one of the things, if I was teaching other PTs to come in and do that, I would only market half an hour sessions. And he said, what are you charging per hour, Gav? It's LA Fitness 2011. And I think I'd moved from 50 to 60. He said, I said, 60 quid an hour. He said, well, I'm charging 40 quid for half an hour. He said, so and I'll put 2 clients back to back. So I've automatically given myself a £20 pay rise. I said, well, how are you charging that? He goes, because that's what I'm charging them. I tell them, I position it. I say, look, you don't need an hour because we're going to spend the 10 minutes on the cross trainer warming up and the cool down. And so we had this little bet. He was saying, let's see how many hours we can go to. This is a true story. Dan will back this up if you ever he's a good one to get on because he's doing digital stuff. Let's see if we can get up to 50 hours a week. And he would literally go from cross trainer to cross trainer to cross trainer. And this is why I learned a lot of the skills, because you know that a lot of the PTs come into the gym and they're qualified, you know, list as long as your arm, degrees, strength and conditioning coaches, but if they don't know how to actually interact with someone and speak to someone, it's worth nothing. And Dan was a master of just going up to a girl on a cross trainer and say, look, do you want to come in for a trial? And he would sign them up. So we were doing this competition where we'd try and collect 50 leads in a day from the cross trainers.
Yeah, been there.
and it was just a skill that we got really, really good at. And moving to, I've been telling everyone about the half an hour model for the last 7 years. Yet when I left the gym, guess who was doing half hours? No one, not one of them. Because they were like stuck in that model that, well, he's a top lawyer or he's a banker. He wants to be stretched and he wants to fucking rub down and he wants something. No, he doesn't. He wants to be back on his lunch hour before the hour. He doesn't want to spend 2 hours at the gym. But if you can get the same result from half an hour and charge a little bit more, well, actually you're giving them a pay cut. You're actually saving them money. If they're paying 60 quid an hour and now you're only charging them 40 quid,
yes, less
doesn't
money.
matter that it's only 30 minutes. They've saved 20 quid and they're out of the gym quicker and you're still getting the same results. And once I saw that revolutionized everything that I did in the gym.
I don't know why trainers don't jump on it. I mean, we do our PT as an hour, but it differentiates from our group fitness, which is the fitness slots. We've always done them in 30 minutes.
There you go.
And you get, you know, groups of 6 to 8. And interesting, on the remote coach platform, the average session time is 32 minutes. So it just shows for you coaches listening, you know, people are after something that fits in and something that's really a big, you know, best bang for your buck.
Well, let me just quickly say this as well, Ben. I mean, if you think of 90%, 95% of the city population, maybe quite stressed, I'm generalizing here, stressed, a little bit overweight, just want to burn some body fat to look better in the skirt and a suit. That's their goal. Do they really, really need 3 hours of one-to-one strength and conditioning coaching? No, that's not the average person. But if they can be taught how to do 3 walks and a little bit of HIIT training and a little bit of something and shift 20 pounds in 12 weeks, does it matter how you do that? It doesn't. They're paying, they want the result. So if you can do 2 or 3 half an hours with them, that's what they want.
There you go. So, there you go. And Gav's built a very successful business on it. So, okay, cool. So let's dive back to the emails because I was fascinated by how John Russell, who I had on, said that he was churning out 15 articles per month. How are you doing 5 emails a week, you know, consistently? Because you're putting out videos as well. You know, how does your kind of day-to-day or structure work for any of the trainers that are, you know, really new to this and wanting to get online?
Well, I would 100% tell everyone that if a 19-year-old came through the doors now, I would say, what marketing are you doing? And I would say email marketing. Although there's loads of other platforms, email marketing is still a very good way. Start building your list. So I would, for the first 3 years in London, I didn't build a list. Bedros said, build a list. And I started with 150 names on my list. Start adding every person onto that list and start with 1 email a week. And everyone can do this. On a Monday morning, get a platform like Aweber or MailChimp and say, I'm going to send out 5 weight loss tips on a Monday morning. And that, look, drink water, sleep more, increase your protein, some very basic generic stuff that 90% of the population don't understand and aren't doing. Everyone can do that. It will take 15 minutes of your day, but just do it. We started with once a week. Then I went to twice a week. Then I was 3 times a week for about a year. And then I went to 5 times a week. But going to 5 times a week is going to be an absolute head fuck. You can't do that. Like if someone said you need to write, you can't do that. And what I've realized is I write about stuff that's just going on. I'll just literally open up my MailChimp and say, whatever was going through my head with a few tips, and I'm be as personable as possible. So I'll just talk like I would to you. I'm just talking in my own voice. Sometimes it's, you're struggling to think, what can I actually say without repeating the same stuff? But what you've got to realize is once there's a load of people on the list, they're probably only seeing 2 of that 5 anyway. You're not as important as you think you are to your list.
That's a really good way of putting it.
So if you do 1 email a week and a great open rate, if you've got 1,000 names on your list, which most people won't get 1,000 names, if they did, 15 to 18% is actually quite a good open rate.
That's really
so if you're getting 150 people to open your once a week email, the other 850 haven't seen it. So when you go to 2 times a week, the chances of seeing once a week go up. If you go to 3, it's just law of averages. So once a week you might get seen, but probably won't get seen. Some people do once a month. What are the chances of ever being seen? I tell people, look, I'm going to email you a lot, but just delete and unsubscribe if you don't want my emails. It's not my job to keep them amused and keep providing them with great material. Tim emails 3 or 4 times a week. He's quite prolific with it. And sometimes I'll read it. Sometimes I'll just delete it. It's got to be whether they're in the right frame of the mind. So that would be the first thing I tell anyone that wants to go online or even build a business face-to-face, get an email list, start speaking to those people. That would be my number 1 tip for sure.
And so you're not scheduling. You're literally getting up every day, and it's one of the first things you do.
I'll do it first thing, and I'll send it out. Sometimes I won't do it till 4 p.m. and I'll send it out whenever I write it. And so if occasionally I'll miss it, it doesn't bother me. I'll just write it and send it. Because a few years ago I was more prolific. I would schedule it 9 a.m. or 7 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I would take a lot more care with it. But now it's just something I'll just literally write, send it out. So I'm in their inbox, they're seeing me. Testimonials go out all the time. I don't bother I'll spell check, but if there's a spelling mistake, it doesn't bother me. If someone unsubscribes, it doesn't bother me, because if they unsubscribe because when I'm trying to help them, they're never going to be a paying client. But that's taken me 7-8 years to learn all of this. I would just do once a week, some basic tips. Start off with. That would be my first tip.
Get communicating. Cool. Okay. And so we've talked about obviously what made you go online. You've now got a book, right?
Yes.
And look at your website. It's very streamlined to obviously someone landing on there and taking action, like on your homepage. Do this now. I think the button says, or first thing to do. So what other things would you recommend that a trainer that's looking to go online focuses on? Because the usual, just get a website, make it look pretty,
doesn't work.
Get an Instagram page. What's kind of your first 3 things that are a must, I'd say?
Well, if I was starting all over again from what I knew now, I wouldn't even bother with a website. You could use the website. The only reason to have a website is to collect names. Again, I've learned this from some of the top email marketers in the world. There's only one reason to have a website. You need, I'm not sure the stats, but I think the average person will be on a website 8 seconds. They'll click on, unless they know your website. If they find you, they'll click on. So you've got to have a call to action on the first page. So the best way to get that person into your funnel is to collect their email address. So you need to do that, what Bedros calls the ethical bribe. If someone scrolls down, it says, download my 7 tips on how to eliminate stress. Oh, okay, email. We've all signed up. How many email lists are you on? Probably loads, right? I've just deleted about 50 of my Gmail because I was realizing I was spending an hour reading emails that I don't really, so I've just deleted all my lists now. But don't do it if you're on my list. I'm joking. But there's got to be a call to action. So I say, download this free report. So they give you an email, and then you send them the free report, and then you can market them. So that's the only reason to have a website, and maybe some testimonials. They're not interested in your qualifications. They don't care about who you are. They want to know, can this person get me results? So that would be a website. But I would actually tell people to get on LinkedIn. That is the number 1 platform. If we're going to go there, let's go there.
Yes, let's dive in deep.
Let's dive in.
I think I saw yesterday, the day before, one of your LinkedIn videos, or most of them, I've got like over 300 comments. And so Give us the special sauce. You know, what's the frequency? How did you get into it? And yeah, what are the kind of things that you need to be doing as a coach to try and build that platform on LinkedIn?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's the hidden gem in the fitness world, and we may have just unearthed that, and hopefully people listen to it. But there's more than enough. It's still an infancy. LinkedIn is where Facebook was 7-8 years ago, guys, and you can post something and it's still very organic. You don't have to pay. So it's not costing me anything to be on LinkedIn. And your post can go semi-viral, which on Facebook, they want you paying for everything, don't they? You know, you can't do that now. It was Tim that said, I was actually on LinkedIn. I joined LinkedIn in 2011, but I didn't even know that you could post on there. I didn't know it was a platform to post until I started working with Tim in 2017. And he said, are you using LinkedIn? I said, what for? And I looked, I had 2,000 people on there that I was connected with, but half of them were trainers. So I didn't realize what it was for. I was connecting with people in my business. But I thought, well, it's only when Tim said, look, get on LinkedIn and start using it as a platform. I started doing a couple of posts once or twice a week, just basically some of my tips, and it started gathering a bit of speed. And it was only, I'd say, in the last year and a half that from 2,000, it's up to 27,000 connections on there. So it's built really, really well, but I'm very prolific.
Wow.
I post 3 times a day on there, Ben.
Yeah.
3 times a day.
Is it 3 videos or?
No, it's not even videos. Only really the last 6 months I've got proactive with the videos. I built that on text-based posts. LinkedIn, you allow 1,200 characters.
Yeah.
And they'll reward you for filling all 1,200. You know, like certain platforms like you to do a certain way. The best performing post, apart from a video, is a text-based post of 1,200 characters. So you want to use the full. So I'll just go on there and write 10 fat loss tips.
Yeah.
Now, how LinkedIn works is the first hour is important on LinkedIn. So whoever comments, you need to comment back to them. So when I put something up, I'll spend a bit of time with it. You can't just put a post it and leave. So when someone's now, because everyone else that knows how LinkedIn works, they'll comment as much as they can on your post. Yeah. And everyone in their network will see that post and they'll comment, and then you're commenting back. So it's this big sort of circle that goes around. The more people comment, the more people it gets shown. Yeah. And that's what I'll sometimes do. I'll do a video, or I'll do a short post, or I'll tell a joke, or I'll do a meme. It's a mixture of everything. But it's taken a while to build up the audience, you know. But that it's the best in terms of business to business. Now, if you think, I think the stats are showing that the average person on LinkedIn makes $120,000 a year. That's across the board. Yeah. So what's that? 80 grand, isn't it? English money, 80, 90 grand.
Maybe a bit more. Yeah.
So, and the average age is 35 to 60. So that isn't the gram.
No, yeah.
All of the PT's clients are all on LinkedIn. And here's the thing I've learned with LinkedIn. People that are scrolling on LinkedIn that think they're at work and think they're better than the Facebook and the Instagram crew. Yeah. But I'm business, because it's business to business. I'm doing work, I'm researching. We are not. You're scrolling on LinkedIn and you're using that as your platform to scroll, because everyone's addicted to one type of scroll or another. It's so funny. And people on LinkedIn think they're better than the Facebook and the Instagram. And they're not. They're just a different level of people in terms of maybe more high-powered in the city. But look, a guy making $1 million, he's scrolling on LinkedIn. He's not scrolling on Instagram. Yeah, you know? And that's your clients, right? That's your client base. All your clients are there, so you want to be in their face. I would recommend anyone getting on LinkedIn. That would be my number one tip. Amazing. Definitely.
So once you've got them, you know, through, let's say, or getting to interact, do they usually, you know, DM you? Do you DM them, or what's the sales process?
So again, the sales process. I actually went and worked after I spent a lot of money with Tim, actually. I worked with Tim 3 or 4 different times. He kept upgrading me. Tim's brilliant in that, you know, and he won't mind me saying it, but what Tim is so good at doing, if you actually follow what Tim shows, you'll get great results. And I've told all of my closer friends, go and work with Tim, and guess how many have actually worked with him?
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, they've seen what I've done.
Yeah.
I don't get it. The mentality, I was so many go and work with Tim. Tim was brilliant. He would sell me into one program and then sell me into the next one, and then have me chomping at the bit and then sell me into the next one. Tim helped. It was actually his business partner, Phil, helped me write the book.
Yeah.
Phil, that was big responsibility of writing the book. And that alone has allowed me to command whatever I want to charge on LinkedIn, I can, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not 10 grand, but whatever,
No, yeah.
you know. So Tim was very good at that. The sales process I have is I'll put a post up. So it's a mixture of email marketing and a post. Someone will like it, they'll resonate it, they'll see a lot of comments, they'll see my interaction, and then they'll DM me. They'll say, Gavin, I see you've got a 12-week program. Can you tell me about it? And there's 2 questions I ask them. So, okay, how much do you weigh? How much do you want to lose? I want to lose 30 pounds. Great. How much do you weigh? I weigh 260. Cool. Okay, so why now? What's the real motivation for losing that weight? And I say, look, I want to be a role model for my kids. I'm tired. I'm miserable. My suits don't fit. Okay, cool. Ben, here's what we'll do. Best way to do this, book a call. Here's my diary, schedule a call. We'll go look at this properly and we'll take it from there. Sound good? That's my process. That's it. They'll book a call on my diary. As soon as they book a call, it takes them through to a questionnaire. So I'm then vetting them in terms of where they are physically, mentally, financially to a certain extent. I'll then get them on the phone. We'll have a 30-minute conversation on phone and I'll pitch to them at the end of that call and they'll either join or they won't. Simple as that.
Yeah, gosh, so similar to kind of, you know, how you would face-to-face, you'd have to have a consult. I know some trainers are still doing the free wow session. You know, on Number One Fitness Education, we've removed that. I mean, it's just so prehistoric. You know,
but
people.
What I've learned, and again, I'll give Tim some props for this. Tim was excellent at calling people out. I'll give you the sales process that Tim got me for the first time. I already knew how much Tim was charging because I'd seen some people do it. I already knew that I was going to buy Tim's course. I had my credit card in my pocket. Tim's brazen. He actually does a sales process face to face on Skype or Zoom. So he looks in the person's eyes. I don't. I do it on a phone call. And he pitched it. He said, Gav, are we just going to do this? I said, yeah, let's do it. He said, right, who do you bank with? Straight like that. I went, NatWest. He goes, okay, give me a credit card number or a debit card. What works best for you? And I went, even though I knew I was going to buy it, I still gave him some bullshit excuse. I said, I need to think about it. He went, what do you need to think about?
Yeah. What's the barrier?
Yeah, what's the barrier? And it wasn't. It was just a buyer's defense. It was like, shit, I'm going to spend X amount. I'm going to spend thousands on this coach. And I said, I need to speak to Alex. He went, you told me that you were ready to do this and you've earned X amount last year and now you're quibbling over a few K over, you know, do you need to go and speak to her? I went, no, I don't. I said, but I need to go and get my credit card. It's in the other room. And it wasn't. It was in my fucking pocket, man. And you know what's so funny? And Tim called me out on it and he went, okay, go and get your, and he stood there and I went off camera. I went like this. I went off and I'll tell you what, I went off camera. I went, okay, am I going to do this? Cards in my pocket. Am I going to do this? 30 seconds later, came in. I said, all right, it's 4645.
Yeah.
And signed up. And I've done over 500 calls in the last 2.5 years. So I've heard every buyer excuse. It's not about the money. It's not the want or the desire. It was, shit, I'm actually going to have to get my credit card and give it to maybe a strange guy. And Tim taught me this as well. He said, that was the first part of your coaching. I said, what do you mean? He said, having the balls to actually take action. I just happened to have my bank card because of me for a haircut and give you the coach your credit card. And now I can have a brilliant conversation because of what Tim told me. I'll get some business guy that's making multiple 6 figures a year, driving $100,000 car, telling me he can't afford it. And I'm like, he goes, I'll need to speak to my wife. I'm like, no, you don't. I said, when someone tells me they want to speak to their wife, Ben, what it usually means is, shit, this was more than I was willing to invest. Is this what's happening now? And
you
they
actually
all start laughing. They start laughing. That's my exact line. And they all start laughing and they go, I can't believe you just called me out on it. I said, look, give me a hell yeah and let's fucking do this, or give me a no right now. And the amount of times they go, you know what, Gav, let's just do it and get their card out there and then. And I learned that from Tim. But it's taken me 2 years of doing hundreds of calls to get confident about asking someone for their credit card. And that's not me being cheeky and not bullshitting them, because I know if they get into the program, they're going to lose £30 if they follow what I show them.
That's the difference as well, isn't it?
It's having a conversation, an honest conversation with them to say, look, step up, put your money where your mouth is. Let's do this. Yeah. And still sometimes, so I won't get offended. I'll say, look, it's not about the money. Are you going to give me credit card details or not? And I'm cool either way, but tell me no now. Don't tell me you're going to come back tomorrow and say no. Or yes, because tomorrow I can pretty much guarantee what the answer is. And they go, no, look, I'm going to talk to my wife. I need to move some money around. I said, dude, you've got 5 times more money than I've got, and I don't need to move money around. You do not need to move money. And they all start laughing. They go, oh, you're cool. I said, are we going to do this? And they'll go, no, we're not going to do it. I said, cool, but tell me now. Don't say you're going to come back tomorrow. And I've got really good at that process. I know if I get a sales call, it's going to go 70%, it's going to go my way. 1 in 3 I'm getting at the moment. So if I get 5 calls in the week, I know that I'm going to make some money that week. But it's taken me 2.5 years, Ben, to get really... And a few of the lads have listened in on what I say, and they're all like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. If I build a real good rapport with someone and someone says, I can't afford it, I'll say, when are you going to get your balls out your wife's purse? I said that to a guy and got a sale from it. Again, I'll be honest, I got that from Tim.
I mean, me and Harry, we call it the honest approach, and we're not that brazen, but we definitely, I think what it got to the point where we believed so much in the program that we were offering that, you know, we were just like, look, there is no, do you want to be in the best shape you have ever been in your life? And how much does that cost you? That's because you probably spent more than that on your holiday 3 weeks ago.
That's it. If you can say that to them, look them in the eye, or have a proper conversation, say, look, are you ready to step up into this? And if you want to lose £20, £30 in the next 12 weeks, we can do this, but you're going to have to commit. And if you're ready to do it, and I say to them, that's what I have a 45-minute phone call with them. And I've got a script that I'll go through some stuff with them. It's a loose script. So I'll just occasionally look at an idea and then I'll run with it. And I'm taking notes throughout the whole 45-minute conversation. And then I'll repeat. I'll say, look, let me just give you a quick overview of the scenario, and I'll read back to them what they've said to me in 45 minutes. And they're going, oh my God, that's me. That's how I feel. And then when you say that and you get them to say, yes, okay, cool. And then you give them the sales spiel at the end, they're in a much better position physically or mentally to make a decision. So it's a process.
It's powerful, right? It's proper sales, and that's what I think a lot of personal trainers don't necessarily know. So they're in the program now. Do you only sell a 12-week program?
Just 12 weeks, yeah.
Okay. Do you mind telling us how much it is? Or
no, I don't mind. $4,000.
Yeah.
If it's American, so it's $3,000 in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, and then how does it work? With regards, because we've heard many different things, such as a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group. I do a call once a month. I do a call with everyone once a month. How do you kind of process your side of things?
They're in the 12 weeks. I've recorded 10 video modules that gets drip fed to them over the 12 weeks, once every week and a bit. And that would cover nutrition, training, maybe some self-limiting beliefs, some stuff on motivation, how to create a perfect day, some myths and pitfalls. I've boiled down everything I think that someone needs in 12 weeks. And each video is 30 to 40 minutes long. And it's not me speaking like this. It's like a PowerPoint presentation with the voiceover of me going through slides. And they get to keep that for the 12 weeks. Okay, so that's what they get. Then we have a weekly group coaching call. So every Monday or Tuesday, depending on which group they're in, they'll come in. Like last night, I had 15 on Zoom. And that's 1 hour once a week. They get to come with any questions they want to know. And then they get 3.
Is it just Q&A on those calls?
Just Q&A. And then they'll set their goals and intentions for the week. And then they'll get 3 coaching calls with me at any time they want over the 12 weeks. And typically it's like the end of month 1, month 2, month 3.
Yeah.
And that will be one-to-one, and that's it. That's what they get. So that's the three elements. They get the modules, the group coaching once a week, and then the one-to-one coachings over the 12 weeks.
Yeah. So I know yours is very much about kind of coach and behavior change and really getting those, those keystone habits, should we call it,
Yeah.
rather than more just on the specific exercise. Do you give them a gym program as well?
I'll give them that, but a lot of them in the beginning, they'll just get some body weight stuff, moving more. It really depends where they're at, but I also get a lot of guys that come in and want a program. So I like giving them a program. If someone wants a decent 4-week program, I'll spend some time and do that. But just the majority of my clients, if they've got 30 to 60 pounds to lose, especially in lockdown, if they walk 3 times a week, play with the kids, walk the dog, control their calories, they're going to lose a lot of weight very quickly. Yeah. So it's really focusing on the nutrition rather than the exercise piece. That's the majority of my work is on that.
It's so important. I'm seeing it more and more with all the coaches, such as yourself, that really get results and get the testimonials. You've got to do that coaching element and just take care at really focusing on what they can control. All right, Gav. So I guess, I'm looking at time as well, and I know you're a busy man. What would be the 3 tips that, we've spoke about, obviously getting an email list, but for someone that's still stuck there and not quite sure where to start, what would be the 3 things that they could be doing or should be doing now?
What, if they were, say, a trainer in the city?
Trainer.
PT.
Yeah.
Honestly, the 3, what I've said there, start an email list.
Yeah.
When Bedros said that to me, that itself has led me to where I am now.
Gotcha.
Start an email list and start doing a weekly tips to them, and do the same post on all their social media channels, whether it's Instagram, so that you can repurpose the same bit of content across all channels: Instagram, Facebook, really LinkedIn, newsletter. My 5 weekly tips, just start that, doing once a week. Secondly, if you're going to do a website, don't spend too much time making it look amazing. Client doesn't give a shit, but have a call to action on the first page. Sign up so that you're collecting email lists. Get on LinkedIn and start doing a daily post and tell people who you are, and get testimonials. Yeah. Like, insist on testimonial. If you've got any client, even work with 2 clients for free. If you're brand new, say, look, I'll work with you for free, but the stipulation of working with free, we have to do before and after pictures, weeks 1, week 6, week 12, and get that testimonial out on LinkedIn. When people see you've helped someone lose 20 pounds, they're going to give inquiries. That would be my first few tips. Yeah, amazing. I'm going to add one on, because you've hit the nail on the head. And I think, well, both of us and the other people that have come on, is invest in yourselves as trainers to learn. How many coaches have you had, Gav? You've been working backwards. I've had 3 on LinkedIn, 3 coaches on LinkedIn. I spent a lot of money with Tim. Yeah, a lot. I did 4 things with Tim. I spent a lot of money with Tim, but he also helped me make a lot of money. So and I went and worked with a company called Clients on Demand. Have you heard of them? Okay, no, I haven't. Guy called Russ Ruffino. I spent a lot of money with him. My model that I've got now of the modules, the group coaching, the one-to-one, that's their model. So Tim times 4. Clients on Demand, and 3, probably 7 coaches. Yeah. And if you count Bedros, 3 times I went to see him in California. Yeah. I've spent a lot of money on coaching. And that's where coaches go wrong, I think. Invest in your business and marketing side of things, as well as your anatomy and physiology. Look, the anatomy and physiology is the least I've spent on. I haven't looked at, I did Poliquin before I came to London. And I haven't looked at anatomy. That's not how, if people talk about making money. I've done nutrition, I did ISSN. So there was another good few grand spent with ISSN, which is postgrad in nutrition. Yeah. I think it's 3 modules of a master's. Yeah. If I could do another 5 modules, I've got my master's. And I've often thought about doing that, but it's an ego. It's 2 years of hard work to say that I've got an MSc when that's not going to make me any more money. Qualifications won't make you more money. Spending time learning how to market yourself and talk to people That's where you're going to make money. And that's why I'm doing well on LinkedIn. So it's about marketing yourself. I've probably spent close to, it must be 70 grand on coaches.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, you
a lot of money
you
with
invest a lot of money.
Oh,
you
God,
invest, but people, all the guys in the gym were saying, "Gav, are you going on another course?" I said,
I can't understand that.
You're missing it. You're seeing what I'm spending, but okay, I'm about to leave the gym and earn X amount. You're not seeing the end result. So yeah, I would say invest in yourself. Forget about the anatomy. Like I've never mentioned where the bicep inserts.
Yeah.
Not once. I learned that in 96. I can't even remember it, but does it make any difference to making money and getting results? Absolutely not.
No, not at all.
If you want to be a performance coach for the GB team, you need to learn that shit.
Yeah.
If you want to help Mrs. Jones lose 30 pounds and make 20 grand a month, you don't need to know that. You need to market yourself.
Just know marketing and sales. Cool. Yeah. All right, Gav. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to catch up after this lockdown.
Definitely,
and
I'll come
discuss more about Tim Drummond.
Definitely, yeah. When you got Tim on next week,
exactly.
Say hi to Tim. Tim's a master. I wish people would go and speak to Tim more.
I'm sure he'll be marketing himself well as well.
I'll say this again. If anyone's listening to this, I'm bigging up Tim. He taught me a lot of things. Tim's a great guy, great coach, but he's an expert at getting people to spend money. And those skills have transferred over. And what's the funny thing? The things that he says to me, where I then would fumbling with my credit card, I'm now doing that to clients and holding that position, that doctor. I call it the doctor frame.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the doctor, you don't start. You listen to what he says. Like, okay, this is what you need. You listen to me. You're going to take this script. Here's what you need to do. True. And when you can get people to look at you like a doctor, that's when they'll start listening to you, and that's when you can charge what you want.
Yeah, exactly. That's powerful, man. Well, cheers, Gav.
Welcome,
and stay healthy, man.
You too, mate. Thanks a lot, Ben.